Alrighty, that is all the NBA we had to go over in terms of talking the games and betting the games. But now let's re-update and reorder our power rankings. We do this every single Friday. Unfortunately, we missed Friday's show, so we're going to update it today on Monday, and then we will do another mini adjustment on Friday just so we are back on schedule. Got to get back on schedule. That's the biggest thing. That's why I hate missing shows, and truly missing 3 days in a row is unacceptable, inexcusable, and that all falls on me, folks. I truly agree. But we got to get back on a schedule here. So we will still update it today, and we will still update it on Friday, and then go from Friday to Friday again. And hopefully we don't have to miss any days of shows. So here we go, our NBA power rankings. So heading into this kind of extendo week, we updated this 2 Fridays ago. Let's get a date up here. What do we got? The last time we updated the power rankings was on the 25th, February 25th. We missed the March 4th update on Friday. Nope, excuse me. We did update it on March 4th, Friday. We missed March 11th, the Friday, and now we are updating it on March 14th. So there it is, folks. From March 4th to today, March 14th is kind of the new updated window from when we take all the games. But up until the 4th, folks, these were our power rankings. We had the Heat at 10, the Timberwolves at 9, the Mavs at 8, the Pelicans at 7, the Bucks at 6, the Grizzlies at 5, the Suns at 4, the 76ers at 3, the Celtics at 2, and the Jazz at the number 1 seed here in our power rankings. But from the 4th to the 14th, folks, wow. It's really been eye-opening, this entire kind of extendo week that we've got. So from the 4th to the 14th, how has the landscape in the NBA changed? Well, let's talk about it, folks. We've only got one new team, a lot of shakeup, a lot of movement, but only one new team in and one team out over the last week. Now, the Bulls, this is why we're not adding these teams in, folks. The first team that's not going to be added in here is the Bulls. They had 4 games over the last kind of extendo week here. Let me tell you, let me just phrase it like this. They had 4 games total. 2 were wins, 2 were losses. The potential 2 wins. There was 2 wins and 2 losses here. They had games against the Pistons and the Cavs that either resulted in a win or a loss, and then they had games against the Bucks and the Nets that either resulted into both wins or both losses. So, Pistons, Cavs, or Bucks, Nets. What would be better? What would be actually good of beating? The Pistons and the Cavs or the Bucks and the Nets? Yes, of course, beating the Bucks and the Nets would be better, right? But that's not who the Bulls beat. They beat the Pistons and the Cavs. They beat the Pistons and they beat the Cavs with no Jared Allen, and I don't think Karis LeVert was playing in that game either. So what the heck are we talking about with the Bulls? This Bulls team is not a good team. They're losing against the good teams. How are you losing against the good teams and want to be called a good team? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything, folks. So that's why the Bulls are not going to be in the top 10. The Knicks are also not going to be in the top 10. They had a solid extendo week. They had 6 games over the last few days, and they beat the Clippers, the Kings, and the Mavs. Beating the Mavs was a good win, and it was dominant, like a 30-plus win. That was a good win right there. But then you lose to the Suns, the Grizzlies, and the Nets. And this Knicks team trying to crack the top 10, yeah, 1 good win is good, but then 3 bad losses against good teams, we can't be having that. So the Knicks have been kind of increasing in our overall kind of thought. I would definitely put this Knicks team outside looking in at maybe the 13th seed. I can maybe give them something like that. So the Knicks have been climbing, but not ready to make the top 10 just quite yet. Let's make the top 10 in your own conference first before we start talking about you. So we'll see if the Knicks can claim a play-in tournament spot here down the stretch. The Hawks, definitely kind of knocking on the door. Once again, we see something good, and then something bad, and then something good, and then something bad, and then something and then something good, and then something bad, and then good, and then meh, and then meh, and then good, and then good, and then bad, and bad. It's just all 50-50 over the last extendo week by the Hawks. They beat the Wizards, the Clippers, and the Pacers. Are these good wins, folks? They're not good wins. You're taking care of business, which is, you must do. You must take care of business, but you also must, take your chances when you're facing the better teams, and they lose against the Pistons and the Bucks. You had a chance to face the Bucks, you lose, and then you lose to the Pistons. We know the Pistons are pretty good, but I mean, once again, it's just like the Hawks are supposed to be better than the Pistons, so the Hawks aren't getting in the top 10. Warriors very, very close. They beat the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Bucks. Ended up losing to the Lakers and the Nuggets. So Warriors, I would definitely say, are probably the 11th seed at the current moment and definitely can start making their way into the top 10, especially when we do our reorder on Friday. A little bit of a mini reorder on Friday from what happened on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They could definitely try to get into the top 10 on Friday, just not quite ready yet. So, Bulls, Knicks, Hawks, Warriors not cracking the top 10 in that one new available spot. So, what team does that leave, folks? Have you been able to figure it out? Were you able to Sherlock Holmes? Well, it's not this team, this team, this team, this team. It's got to be this team. Well, let's see if you're right here, folks. But you're not going to be right at number 10 because the new team that we're moving in, we're not just moving them up to number 10, folks. We're moving them up a little higher. So here we go. Let's talk about the new reordering here of our power rankings. We'll start from 10, work our way up to number 1, and see how the landscape in the NBA has changed from March 4th to March 14th. Here we go. New number 10 team here, and we're going to give this team a one last chance here, folks. One last chance. Once again, we got this kind of mini update on Friday. So we're going to be playing around a little bit, and giving this team one final chance here. But the new number 10 team is the New Orleans Pelicans, dropping from number 7 to number 10 in our power rankings. Now, we love this Pelicans team when they're at full strength, but that's been the problem. They have not been at full strength. Brandon Ingram, hamstring, I believe, little hamstring tightness, kept him out the last few games here. CJ McCollum got COVID-19. He's been out the last couple of games here, and they've really been losing because you don't have two of your big three, and obviously you're going to lose. But overall, the Pelicans, they won last night, kind of all right, a game that they should have won. They took care of business in dominating fashion with just Valanciunas out there. Beating the Rockets by 25 points. That was fantastic. But over the last kind of extendo week for this Pelicans team, they beat the Jazz and the Rockets, good beating the Jazz and all that. Rockets, you took care of business, fantastic. But then they lost against the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, the Magic, the Hornets. But once again, only really having Valanciunas and CJ McCollum out there, or just Valanciunas out there. So Pelicans, we're going to give them one last chance here before they fall out of the top 10. Hopefully they can get healthy very, very soon. Hopefully we get Brandon Ingram back quickly. Hopefully CJ McCollum, symptomless, can get back on the floor. But this Timberwolves team, this Pelicans team, when they're not 100% healthy, it's obviously not the best team, but when they are healthy, this is a real team to kind of be afraid of. So Pelicans, we'll see what you can do. One final chance here. Let's start winning some games, or we're going to have to drop you off. But Pelicans fall from number 7 to number 10. All right, here we go. New number 9 team, and it's not the new team in yet, folks, so you will not know if you're right currently. But this team is dropping big time down, folks. From number 1 to number 9 is the Jazz, folks. And man, oh man, what the hell was this week? What the absolute hell is this week? I mean, the Jazz are one of the deepest, healthiest teams at the current moment, folks. We're getting Donovan Mitchell. We're getting Rudy Gobert, all of that. The bench, Jordan Clarkson getting it done. But this Jazz team, you beat the Thunder and the Blazers. Okay, that's not good. Those are not good quality wins. But then you lose to the Pelicans, the Mavs, and the Spurs. I mean, what the hell is going on here? So this Jazz team, and I have to apologize for even putting them at number 1 for a week. I mean, that was maybe the biggest thing I've been wrong about my entire career, folks. Definitely this season, absolutely. But what, like I was kind of saying a little bit earlier, is that I just fell in love with the Jazz's depth and the healthiness at the All-Star break, so we put them at the 1. But this Jazz team, they don't do anything impactful. They don't do anything meaningful. They never beat the good teams consistently. They lose against the bad teams when they should not be losing against the bad team. They lose at home. They lose on the road. It's just like, it's nothing consistent. It's nothing I want to buy into, honestly. And yeah, they've got the pieces. Bogdanovich, Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert, Royce O'Neal, Donovan Mitchell, the bench, Rudy Gay, Hassan Whiteside, Jordan Clarkson. Folks, we can keep naming names out here. They've got the names, they've got the pieces, but they're not winning games, and that's what the Jazz team has been their entire, really kind of the last few years here. Rudy Gobert, always kind of defensive player of the year, great defense, sucked over his great defense that he has, but then can't play that same defense in the playoffs, and they never get anywhere, conference finals or the finals or anything like that. So it's just like, what are we doing here, Jazz? Are we going to actually start winning games and showing that you are actually good, or just telling us you're good and healthy and all that, and then not getting it done on the floor? That you must get it done on the floor. Jazz, can you get it done on the floor? Can you get it done on the court, please? Jazz, you're at number 9, and I'm letting you know this is a notice, because I'll drop them off. We've got to update back again on Friday. I'll drop them off the top 10. I don't care. Get it done this week. Get it done today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the days that line up to be, because back on Friday, if I don't see kind of undefeated of how many games you've played and I don't see anything good, I'm knocking you outside the top 10, and I'll give another team a chance. I'll put the Bulls. You want me to put the Bulls in the top 10, Jazz? We'll keep playing around, and that's going to happen, and the Bulls will be taking your spot. So we'll see. I'll put the Bulls at number 9. Don't test me, Jazz. Have a good week. We'll see how they do. Jazz at number 9. Alrighty, here we go, folks. What is your final guesses? One new team in the top 10, and this is their seed right here, folks. The number 8 seed. What team do y'all think it's going to be? I'll give you 3 more seconds. Last final guesses. It's not the Bulls. It's not the Knicks. It's not the Hawks. It's not the Warriors. It's not even the Nuggets. Who is it? The new number 8 team, and man, oh man, is the Brooklyn Nets, folks. Yeah, alrighty, folks. I was a little wrong about this Nets team. They're a little bit better than I thought they were, and, silly me. We got to go back a little bit here because we did not have our show on Saturday, and the 76ers Nets played on Friday, and we didn't get a chance to talk about that game. But what the hell was that, Philadelphia? Oh my God, a big time dominant blowout win by the Nets against the 76ers in Philadelphia. Yeah, and we just missed it, folks. We knew that, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving were going to be ball dominant in that game, which they were, but the thing that we forgot to take into consideration is that when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are ball dominant, they're good as heck. They're great scorers. So yeah, if they're commanding the ball, they're going to be putting up points. And that's exactly what they both did. So yeah, it was just an overlook. We thought them being ball dominant would hurt them. Fools on us. They're great shooters. We knew that, folks. And they just blew out the 76ers, proving that the Nets maybe were the ones that truly won the trade. So this is a little bit of an apology from us to the Brooklyn Nets for kind of undervaluing them really ever since that big trade, Ben Simmons for James Harden and all that. So this Nets team, obviously Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, we still haven't seen Ben Simmons, so we still don't even know how that's going to look, but Seth Curry, Andre Drummond holding it down until Ben Simmons gets there, and then they go down to the bench when Ben Simmons gets there, so they're going to be a deep team with great shooters and all that. I think we were a little wrong about the Nets here, folks, so we're going to apologize a little bit and put them at number 8. This last week, the Nets have beaten the Hornets, the 76ers, and the Knicks. Lost against the Celtics. So, yes, they have a good win against the 76ers, Hornets, Knicks. You should be beating the Knicks. So, one good win against the 76ers. Got to really start beating the Celtics as well. This is another great team in the Eastern Conference here that we will see a little bit later on how great the Celtics team actually is. But the Nets... Kevin Durant and Kyrie, you can score the ball. That's what you need to do in this league. That's what the Jazz aren't doing. The Jazz aren't scoring the ball, and they've got, more talent overall, more pieces, more talented pieces overall, because Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving versus the entire Jazz team. I'm taking Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving 2 on 8. I don't care. I'm taking those two players. So, Nets at number 8 here. And we'll see if they can continue to climb the power rankings here. Well done of cracking the top 10, Nets. Fantastic. Alrighty, here we go. New number 7 team, and this is a slight upgrade here by this team, a nice one-spot jump, but the Mavs are now the new 7 team, new number 7. They were at number 8 last week, and they are at number 7 this week. This Mavericks team, some solid wins. They beat the Kings, the Jazz, the Rockets, the Celtics, lost to the Knicks in big-time, dominating fashion, like 30-plus point loss there. Luka Doncic wasn't on, and it just, unfolded from there. But, teams lose here and there. That's why, if you're going kind of 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 in a week, even against, a bad team, we don't weigh that too much because, this is the NBA. You do play 82 games. You're going to lose games against good teams, games against bad teams. It's when it starts to become a habit, consistently losing against the bad teams, consistently not beating the good teams. That's where we had the issue. But one game here, one game there, no worries, especially when you are beating teams like the Jazz and beating teams like the Celtics last night. Clutch as heck by the Mavs. Spencer Dinwiddie, new addition on the road, clutch 3 to win the game. I mean, that's what I want to see. That 1 3-point win on the road against the Celtics, that's way, I weigh that way more than that 30-point loss against the Knicks, honestly. So Mavericks, really solid here, winning by that 3-point shot, winning by Luka Doncic, winning by Spencer Dinwiddie. This Mavericks team can move up a spot here. Once again, this Mavericks team is really the only team that does not have a really great dominant big, and they're still getting it done, still in the playoffs, still winning games, still beating Celtics, still beating the Jazz and all that. So this Mavs team, big props to them. Can only move them up one spot here this week because of kind of how everything else transpired this week, but the Mavericks need to be on your radar, folks. Do not sleep on this Mavericks team. Yes, they don't have a big in a big's world. We'll see if that catches up to them in the playoffs, but at the current moment, they don't care. They don't give a damn. No big, no problem. They're the only team that's getting it done consistently. So Mavericks at number 7. Alrighty, new number 6 team, and yeah, we got an improvement here, folks. A nice jump by this team, and well done by this team. Love this team big time, folks. And we get the new number 6 team as the Timberwolves, folks. Yeah. Jumping from number 9 to number 6. Love this Timberwolves team. Over the last week, they beat the Thunder twice, the Blazers twice, and the Heat. There was no Jimmy Butler and Victor Oladipo against that Heat team. Let's keep that in mind, but still, at the end of the day, we know the Heat, they are deep and they do replace their starters with bench players pretty solidly. So 5 great wins. They ended up losing to the Magic. 100% inexcusable. But once again, it was just kind of that one loss, 5-1. We can overlook the loss a little bit, not too much, because at the end of the day, it is still the Magic. But overall, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell getting it done. And why we like this Timberwolves team so much is that their depth has truly been getting it done and having a big time impact on this Timberwolves team. We're not just truly reliant on the big 3 anymore. We're getting the great defense by Patrick Beverley. And that's what the Timberwolves need. They need that great defense, that one kind of defender on the team like a Draymond Green. Forget the points, just kind of be that on-floor leader, that on-floor dog, that on-floor toughness that your team needs. They've got the big 3. They've gotten that. They've got a little bit of depth as of recently, and they've got the dog, the defender, the leader, the captain, Patrick Beverley, same as Draymond Green. They basically play the same role, except, Draymond Green's the forward, Patrick Beverley's the guard, but they're both, hey, I don't care about scoring, I don't care about offense, defense, I'm going to get on you, I'm going to get in your face, and I'm going to make it a struggle to beat our team. So this Timberwolves team has just been truly impressive here. The thing that's really kind of holding them back a little bit is that they haven't, faced anybody good this week. Yeah, they beat the Heat, but once again, it was without Victor Oladipo and Jimmy Butler. So I do believe the Timberwolves can beat the Heat at full strength. It's just, can we see this Timberwolves team beat a great opponent a little consistently? We haven't been able to see it the last kind of week and a half, extend a week, because they just did not face a great team like that. But I love the Timberwolves. They climb up in our power rankings, keep getting it done, and even this Timberwolves team were winning during that kind of Anthony Edwards skid a little bit, and now he's a game time decision tonight. Can they still get the win? I say yes. Timberwolves, new number 6 team. Get used to it, folks. I'll put this Timberwolves win tonight. I put them at the number 1. No Anthony Edwards, getting it done? Yeah, I put him at number 1. So once again, Friday, folks, it's going to be a quick turnaround, but I'm ready to make moves here in our power rankings, folks. Yes? Watch out for the Timberwolves to be the number one team. I'm not playing around here, folks. Timberwolves are fantastic. Alrighty, here we go to the number 5 team, and we are going to keep the Grizzlies here at number 5. Couldn't really see any way to move them up. Didn't want to move them down. They couldn't move them down. They haven't been really losing, and that's why the Timberwolves just had to kind of stop at number 6 and not flip with the Grizzlies at number 5. But the Grizzlies will stay here at number 5. This last week, the Grizzlies, some solid wins. Magic, Pelicans, Knicks, Thunder, some quality, winnable games there that they took care of business. Ended up losing against the Rockets, once again, just that one lone game. We're not trying to, blow out of proportion too much. It is a loss. We acknowledge it and all that. But if it's just one here, one there, it's not that too much of a, it's annoying in the moment. It's annoying when you kind of, bet the Grizzlies minus whatever they were. I'm sure against the Rockets, they were probably minus 15. So, yeah, if you're taking Grizzlies minus 15 against the Rockets and they don't even win the game, yeah, it's annoying. You think they're trash and all that. But we recenter. We take a deep breath in. The money's gone. It's out of our account. Okay. But how do we move forward? And the Grizzlies have still been getting it done. So let's not blow one loss out of proportion, even though it's against a bad team. Dylan Brooks last night got it done. Back in the starting lineup, getting it done. John Morant, I'm on my Grizzly. Yes, sir. Steven Adams, a big, getting it done. Just defensive big. And the shooters of the Grizzlies getting it done. So Grizzlies deep team. Everybody getting involved, John Morant being the true facilitator and letting it just kind of play loose. And once again, I've got to bring it up because I haven't brought it up in a while, but the fact that the Grizzlies are now better without Valanciunas, swapping Steven Adams for Valanciunas, and they're better in that regard, it just shows that John Morant just has more freedom on the court and just makes the great decisions every single game. So Grizzlies staying at the 5 seed up until Friday, and we'll see if they can move up or down here. Hopefully not down. Keep going up, Grizzlies, potentially getting that number 1 seed in the Western Conference before the playoffs start. So Grizzlies at number 5. Alrighty, new number 4 team, and this team is dropping back a little bit, and it is single-handedly because of that blowout loss against the Nets. 76ers dropping from 3 to 4, absolutely. This week, the 76ers, they beat the Cavs, the Bulls, and the Magic. Well, we know the Bulls aren't good, the Cavs don't have Jared Allen or Karis LeVert, and the Magic are absolute garbage. And then they lose to the Heat. Not good. And then they lose to the Nets. Really, really big time not good. So 76ers, we will drop you more. We will drop you more. If you don't shape up by Friday, we'll keep dropping you because that was a big time loss against the Nets. At home, the trade, the narratives, your entire fan base booing Ben Simmons at the start of the day. As soon as that chicken went cock-a-doodle-doo over there in Philadelphia, the fans woke up and said, boo. Ben Simmons, yelling out their window. They knew Ben was coming into town, and they were all just boo, boo, nonstop boo from, I believe the sun rose at 6:17 because of daylight savings time. 6:17. On that day, folks, 6:17, the sun rose, and everybody's just started booing from that moment on until they ended up losing. That's when the boo stopped because they're now like, oh, should we be booing ourselves? Should we be booing James Harden? Maybe they were getting their boos ready for when the 76ers flounder in the playoffs, when Joel Fatigue shows up and James Playoff Harden shows up. So maybe we were wrong about the whole 76ers trade. Were we wrong, folks? I know we stood tall. We stood firm on the 76ers winning the trade. But what I just saw, the 76ers didn't win the trade, folks. So far, I think we got to give it to the Nets. Nets have officially, they are now in the driver's seat of winning the trade. Ben Simmons for James Harden, and you didn't even need him. You didn't even need Ben Simmons to beat James Harden on the road. Not a great look by the 76ers. Hopefully this isn't truly what the 76ers are. But we saw it once. If we saw it once, it could happen again. Don't make a habit out of it. This is your last warning, 76ers. We're not playing around. I'm done playing around. I'm done with the games. Are y'all done with the games? Because I'm done with the games. Show me what you've got, or you're going to be dropping. 76ers, you're on notice. Get it done. Get it together. Why the hell did you lose to the Nets? And not just lose. If you lost by buzzer beater in overtime, double overtime by 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll even give y'all a 4-point loss. But y'all lost by like 20 plus. The hell is that? Shame on you. You drop one spot, you keep floundering, I'll knock you out the top 10. I'm done playing around here, folks. Done. 76ers drop from 3 to 4. All right, top three now. How does it shake out in the top three? Ooh, let's see. Here we go. New number 3 team here, and we are going the Suns. Oh my goodness. Without Chris Paul, I truly thought this Suns team would get a tad exposed. Not truly extremely exposed, but a little, maybe they're not as good as we thought. Ooh, they're losing like 2-3 in a row. Ooh, they're losing against the really good teams, and they can't even beat the bad teams anymore. What the hell is going on? I really thought that's how it was going to play out with no Chris Paul. And then you stack on Devin Booker missing like 1 or 2 games also, and they still were not losing. I could not believe it. This Suns team totally shocked me, folks. Suns are truly legit, truly the real deal. And can we talk about DeAndre mother-loving Ayton? Holy moly, shout out to the Bigs. This is a Bigs world, but DeAndre Ayton knows, hey, I'm still a young cat over here. Chris Paul kind of aging a little bit, aging out of this league, one of his potentially last rides and all that. So DeAndre Ayton's like, yeah, this is a big world, but I'm gonna just take a second. I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna let Chris Paul do his thing, and Devin Booker's here, so I'll let him do his thing. But now that DeAndre Ayton has to step it up more because no Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton has truly shown, hey, this is a Bigs world, and y'all need to be reminded of that, because any second I can flip the switch and I can go for 20 and 20 every single game. And if a Big goes for 20 and 20 every single game, folks, I think we've got our NBA champions this season, the Phoenix Suns. Couldn't get it done last year. DeAndre Ayton still kind of learning what it means to be a Big consistently and all that. And man, oh man, we've seen the Suns team, everybody upgraded. Chris Paul got better from last season to this season. DeAndre Ayton got better from last season to this season. Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne all got better from last season to this season. That championship experience, folks, maybe that is true. Maybe that is absolutely true 100%. In the sports world, once you get that kind of footing underneath you, once you get that kind of playoff championship experience, yeah, you're good to go. So, Suns, folks, man, oh man, a nice one spot jump here that could potentially go up a little bit more. I mean, I definitely could have moved the Suns team up to number 2. It was really close between the number 2 and number 3 team. But yeah, this Suns team, I got to give them so much credit. No Chris Paul getting it done. No Devin Booker for a few games, still getting it done. The last extendo week, the Suns have beaten the Knicks, the Magic, the Heat, and the Lakers. They ended up losing to the Bucks. And but they didn't have Devin Booker that game. That was a game that they didn't have Devin Booker. I think they went 1-1 with and without Devin Booker, but they lose to the Bucks, and then they also did lose to the Raptors. But once again, it's just overall the Suns shorthanded, still getting it done. No Devin Booker winning, no Devin Booker still being a little bit competitive, and once again, the biggest thing, no Chris Paul. How they're able to fill in the facilitator on the floor, all that experience that he brings, the lockdown defense that Chris Paul brings. You remove that from the floor and are still able to win games. That's big time impressive. And because the Suns lost to the Bucks, that's why we could not put the Suns at number 2, because that brings us to our number 2 team, and that is the Bucks here, folks. And now they're healthy, almost at full strength. Once they get Pat Connaughton back, this Bucks team will be at 100% full strength, and that's truly gonna be dangerous. But getting George Hill back, getting Brook Lopez back for the Bucks this last extendo week, they beat the Bulls, they beat the Suns, they beat the Thunder, they beat the Hawks, did lose to the Warriors. Once again, a bad loss. They should not have lost to that Warriors team. Klay Thompson got on fire, folks. That's really all it was. Steph Curry didn't even have a good game that game. I don't even know if Steph Curry put up like 10 or more points in that game against the Bucks. It was really just all Klay Thompson. So yes, the Bucks should not have lost to the Warriors, but once again, that was their only loss, that one game. We could take a little bit of, we could put that, not weigh that. We don't have to weigh that loss against the Warriors that much here. So, Bucks getting it done. Giannis, Chris Middleton, as of late, has truly been showing what he can do. The true Robin to Giannis's Batman, all of that. What he showed us in the playoffs last season is exactly what he's kind of been doing as of recently. So, this Bucks team, and once again, Bobby Portis holding it down. at that 5 position without Brook Lopez. And now this is truly going to be the test of the Bucks. Are they good because Brook Lopez comes back? So now what do you do with Serge Ibaka? I don't even know if Serge Ibaka is going to be playing any minutes anymore. That's why we did not love the trade for Serge Ibaka. We thought it was just an overreaction of, hey, we have to go out and get a big now because Brook Lopez is still out. You lost guard depth of bringing in Serge Ibaka. And now, you don't really got any more good guards to kind of, fill in now that everybody's basically healthy now. So Bucks at 2, we love what they've been doing, but let's see if their kind of panic at the trade deadline is their downfall. That's going to be kind of the new story of the Bucks. We'll see if they can keep it going here. But getting it done, and we absolutely love this Bucks team. So Bucks at number 2, and then number 1, folks. We've been hinting it ever since we did not put them at number 1 last week, folks, and that was our mistake, especially seeing what the Jazz have done the last week. Truly our biggest mistake so far. Celtics are the new number 1 team. Yeah, man, oh man. Jason Tatum is going crazy, going superstar mode ever since y'all have started to actively disrespect Jason Tatum by calling him not a superstar. The man's been getting it done. And then for the Celtics team over the last extended week, they beat the Nets, the Hornets, the Pistons. Truly unfortunate they lost to the Mavericks last night. That's kind of their one loss we don't want to overlook, but let's, kind of give them the benefit of the doubt quickly. Close game. Didn't love how it ended. Marcus Smart taking that shot to tie it up. Didn't love that. Jason Tatum shooting that shot with still 4 seconds left. Bad chuck-up shot. Didn't love that. So once again, is the Celtics team, is their kind of downfall going to be clutch ability? That's going to potentially be shown here as we finish up the back end of the regular season here. But overall, they're getting it done. Al Horford's looking rejuvenated. Once again, this is a Bigs world. Robert Williams down low at the 5. Love him getting better. The man has just been getting better and better and better and better and better all the way from last season to this season. Every single game just better and better and better. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Obviously, the 2 superstars on the team, and then we get Marcus Smart facilitating the floor. Fantastic, good defense and all that. Then we get the bench, Derek White, not the deepest. That's really all they got is Derek White, but once again, another guard helping it out. And if Robert Williams and Al Horford, their longevity, that's going to be kind of what makes or breaks this Celtics team because they don't have that much depth at the big position. Yeah, they got Daniel Tice, but they traded him for a reason. They got rid of him last season for a reason. They ended up came crawling back because they needed a little bit of depth out here because they still don't have that big depth. But for the Celtics team, very consistent, getting it done, very well coached. The superstars can get it done. The big, solid bench, all of that. We love everything about the Celtics team. Hopefully this Mavericks loss last night isn't a kind of a foreshadowing of what's to come for the Celtics. Truly hope that they can stay at this elite top level and start beating the better teams consistently here. But overall, we've been loving what we've been seeing by the Celtics as of recently. The one step back was losing to the Mavericks. But once again, it's just one loss here. A couple of other teams, Bucks had one loss. 76ers, Grizzlies had one loss. One loss happens. It happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens. But we're not going to wait that much at the current moment. So Celtics at number 1, folks. So our new power rankings as of March 14th, we've got Pelicans at 10, Jazz at 9, Nets at 8, Mavs at 7, Timberwolves at 6, Grizzlies at 5, 76ers at 4, Suns at 3, Bucks at 2, and the Celtics, the number 1 team in the NBA at the current moment. We'll re-update this list on Friday, and then we will go from Friday to Friday again, folks. So, a lot of movement here in the top 10. Absolutely love it, and we'll see what teams on Friday can crack the top 10. We've got the Warriors definitely knocking on the door. Hawks potentially knocking on the door. We got the Pelicans and the Jazz all on potentially their way out as well. So there's definitely room for movement come Friday if we need to retool our power rankings again.